Welcome to this guided journey, which will be somewhat of an activation to our core frequency. So each and every single individual existing is a unique existence, a unique expression of source. So if you're going to align to our core frequency, you could say that we realign with source, but it's also a unique frequency of source, who we truly are in the deepest sense. So then we're going to work with some core frequencies that naturally take us and activate our alignment with core frequency, resonance with source. So we can actually begin by sitting. And you can just sit in a meditation position. You can put some elevation underneath your sit bones to really sit comfortable. And if you need, you can spread your knees out a little wider. Sometimes that opens the hips slightly more. And just get into a sitting position. And just take some moments to come into position. Wiggle, find your position, your natural inner guidance towards alignment. You can shift your weight slightly forward so it comes all the way from the base, from the hips. So it's the hips shifting slightly forward, and the upper body kind of leans back, lets its weight down, lets gravity kind of just guide the weight of the upper body and let it sink into the hips. So the hips is the foundation, the base of stability in the sitting form. And as you sit, you can feel the pressure building, pressing into each sit bone. So there's this pressure around the sitting bone on each side where your butt cheeks sit and touch the pillow or the floor. And you can, when you exhale, kind of just let your weight sink down here. So you're kind of just letting your weight down. And this initiates the first process of this journey that we are about to take. So the first process in sinking into our natural frequency, to our core frequency, is to sink into the state of being. And the state of being in the physical form, as it's here in the world of matter, we live as spirit inside this physical form, the body. So it's here we have to sink into the state of being with our body in the world of matter. So then comes the exhale, and you can allow your weight, your spirit, yourself to sink into the body. So it's a downward process, you notice. In the world of matter, sinking into the state of being is a downward process. So it's actually also is a downward process that takes you closer to the surface of the earth. It starts to rekindle that connection you have downwards. That's the foundational parts of your being. And truly, there is no separation between you and earth. In the physical, your body and the planetary body is a part of the same thing. It's the same thing. So as you exhale, and you can let the body weight sink, you can let the head rest its weight over the chest, you can let the shoulders sink, and the arms, notice if there's any heaviness in the arms, just allow that heaviness to be felt. It's like the upper arm almost loosens slightly and hangs heavier down from the socket of your shoulders. And then as you exhale, the belly softens slightly and the whole weight of your upper body sinks into the pelvic wall. This makes you sink more down into the hips, which gives the structure more stability. There's more stability as the hips sinks down and rests fully its weight on the support, that being the pillow, the floor, whatever you're sitting on in this moment. So then there's this slight possibility to release the thighs. So as you exhale and sink into the hips, it's like you start to soften slightly where the thighs come up into the hips. It's like the thighs can loosen slightly from the hips. This then spreads like a wave out the thighs into the knees. You can feel this subtle softening inside the knees, and it spreads down to the legs, to the skeletal system, and into the ankle joint. So you can feel the slight softening in the ankle too, going out into the feet. So then we will play with the first frequency, which is just a frequency of sinking into the state of being. It's a physical feeling. It's a downward process. As you exhale, it's there. It's this feeling of sinking into yourself, sinking into the feeling of yourself, sinking into the physical body where you find the feeling of yourself. It's there in the core. It's there in the core of your being, of your body, this feeling of you. It's almost like you could feel it along the spine. It's a centering kind of feeling. It's not scattered out and around, it's there in the center. It's more like an inward thing. It's like you are sinking more inwards into the center of your being, and there with the exhale, you're also sinking a little bit down towards the ground. So naturally, they go hand in hand. The feeling, the first frequency of sinking into being naturally starts to open to the next frequency, which is the feeling of your nature, of the earth. So all the frequencies in this journey, you will notice they go hand in hand and they follow each other. So from the feeling of being, of you, of sinking into just being. So the opposite vibration to that is the feeling of having to do something, to be, having to do, to work, to try, to make happen, to achieve. All of those vibrations or actions, they're the opposite vibration to sinking into being. So in the state of sinking into being, there is no pressure, no need to do, because you already are. You are whole. So there's nothing you need to do. There's absolutely nothing you need to do. Absolutely nothing that needs to happen. So there's this peace. There's this feeling of just being complete. It's like the ground exhale. Where you can release the stressor of having to do something, anything, to be. You can release completely that pressure that sometimes haunts us. And in this moment, you can just sink into the feeling of your body and just notice what's there already. It's the state of being, because it's something you are. It's not something you achieve, it's just something that's foundational, that is there, that is already there. So as we sink in this feeling, you can feel how you're sinking more down into the hips. You can feel the pressure underneath the sits bones. You can feel the presence of the earth. And that takes us to the next vibration. So then we can move actually from the sitting position to a lying down position. And you just get comfortable. You spread out, you spread your arms and legs in the position you want to take. Maybe you want to place some pillows on their knees, on their head. You fidget and do your things. And then we start coming to stillness here in the next position. So all positions we take with the body also is a part of activating different types of energies, different kind of held postures hold our being, our body in an expression of vibration. So the lying down position is very different than sitting. Here you have a completely different relationship to gravity, and all of the body parts are surrendered, are leaning on the ground. So the floor or whatever you are lying on is not necessarily the actual earth, but it symbolizes just an extension of the fact that there is a planetary body, there's a surface of the earth underneath you at this moment, holding whatever structures you are placed on. The earth is holding that structure up. So the only way the floor that's holding you right now could hold you is because of the surface of the earth underneath that, again holding all of this. So now in the lying position, all body parts are experiencing this truth, the fact that there is a planetary body underneath you you can lean on. So this downward process, the sinking into being, to find that foundational vibration for our frequency, we also need to connect to the foundational support that's there for us in the physical form. So from the vibration of sinking into being, you can notice it in the lying position as you exhale and just sink into the body. Sink the chest, sink down, the upper body sink into the hips. Feel the heaviness of the arms, the head, the heaviness of the legs to the feet. That's the feeling, the vibration of sinking into being, the feeling of you. And from there you notice you naturally start to lean more on the earth. You're heavier, you're leaning your weight, you're giving your weight more down to the ground. And this naturally then shows you the second vibration, which is foundational for our state of being, our state of embodying who we truly are here in the physical form. This form needs support, and that's there underneath you from the earth. So let's start tuning to that vibration. Let's start bathing in that vibration. So you can feel the arms, the heaviness of the arms. You can feel that they're leaning on the structure you're lying on. And you can then feel the more they lean, the more you give their weight to the floor, the more you can feel that they're held with support. And that's the vibration of the earth being there. So the presence of the earth underneath you, that vibration is love. It's like any planetary body, any structure made in this universe, by source, there is love. So the planetary body Gaia is a vibration of love, of ground being. But there's this kind of flavor of love which is support. That's why we often call it a mother Gaia. There's this nurturing, loving presence, a love that comes in this energy of support. She just wants to hold you in your process here in the physical form. So if you can start to tune to that vibration, this it's there. It's just something you decide to take in and actually feel that it's there. So underneath you now, as you feel the heaviness in the legs, the arms, they're leaning on something. It's the earth. So you can feel, just give the arms, lean the arms on the earth, give the legs to the earth. Feel the heaviness in your hips and torso and the head. It's like if you now just explore, can you give your total body weight to the earth? Lean all of your body weight on the earth and allow yourself fully to take in that support. There's many layers of how we actually allow ourselves to be held. Some parts of us don't trust it. Some parts of us don't believe we are not worth it. So we try to hold ourselves up, blocking the support that is there for us. So now in this moment, you're exploring if you can do the opposite, open. Can you open deeper and receive more of the support that is there? All of the support that is there. Open completely and take in all of the love that is there. So you don't hold any back. You just give all of your weight down and feel the weight sinking, the body leaning on the ground, and allow yourself to feel that vibration of the loving support that is there. There's this being, a planetary body, an aliveness, a presence that just wants to hold you. It's like it's flowing love from underneath you up to this body and just holding you. Give all. Give your whole self. And see if you can let this support, this loving support that just wants to hold you, see if you can let it into the core of your being, deeper within, deeper. Let it seep, let it find its way into the innermost part of your being, so that there is no barrier anymore. You open fully and allow yourself to receive the support. This is how we actually can manifest fully into physicality. We need the connection with the support. It's like the barrier between you and the earth can kind of be erased. There is no separation. It's like you can allow your body to be filled with the planetary presence of earth, this loving support, like you to melt, like you to rekindle again and remember that you are one. So then as we have opened to the support underneath us, which is just one expression of source surrounding us, this loving presence of a planetary body of being underneath us as we ride through space, living on the back of this animal that's always holding us in her warm embrace. We can also then start to open to the support that is all around us. This is the next vibration for the activation. So there's loving support coming from underneath us, always there for us to fall down into and allow ourselves to be held in. But then there's this whole creation, the whole universe, and there's this loving presence around us from all directions. We are surrounded in this presence. There is source in the field all around us. So it's like there's this loving presence all around us, just saying, I love you. I just want to see you be. I just want to see you live in this existence. I just want to see you exist. That kind of presence is always there, always around you, from all directions, always there. So the only thing between us and this experience is if we choose to see it and take it in, feel it or not. But it's there. So now let's tune to this thing that's there. It's nothing we're making up. It's just something we open to that's already here. Just start imagining that there is this field around you, surrounding you from all directions, of just source, just beaming towards you, just saying, I just want to see you exist, just exactly as you are. Just want to see you exist. And there's this love, there's this pouring love for just this, that you exist, coming towards you from all directions. And the only thing in between you and this flow is if we believe that we are fully worthy of it. So now decide, it's only a decision, a choice. Decide if you want, of course, to open to this love. This love that's streaming, pouring towards you from all directions, just saying, I love you, I love you, I love that you, I just love that you exist. That's all. You don't need to do anything more. There's this love just pouring towards you for just you being you, you being just you. See if you can feel that love, that presence, and open slightly to it if you're ready. Open and breathe it in. Open from all directions and take this presence in. Allow it to love you. And explore, are you allowing it all the way into the core of your being? It's like you can soften in the deepest part of you and allow that love in. Allow that love in. Allow that love to soften those the more hardened places that only harden because it was under this belief that this love was not there. So it hardened. It became hard. But it's only illusions, and now you can decide to open again and allow the hardened parts to be loved. Allow the hardened parts to be loved. So you can open it all the way into the core, layer by layer, and soften in the deepest part of your being until you, here in the deepest part of your being, become one again with this love that's just pouring towards you from all directions of this universe. This stream of love, just loving you from all ways, angles, from all directions, just all those way into the center of your being. So there's support. So it's not only just support underneath you that you're leaning on. It's like your whole body can lean into the support coming from all angles. It's like the whole body softens then, softens instead of hardens and separates. It's like you can become one again with this creation. It's like the boundaries in between your skin and the field around you kind of is whispered away, erased slowly. And you can feel this softening again with creation. And then from there, you can roll over on your side and we can curl up for a moment in a fetus position. And here in this position, we can just start to build on these vibrations we have activated so far. So it started with the vibration of sinking into the being, the state of being, this feeling in the depths of our being, of just the feeling of ourselves, the most delicious feeling, the most delicious love, the feeling of ourselves in the core of that being you are, just a unique vibration of love. It's the most delicious feeling because it is the feeling of who we truly are ourselves. It's like it's the feeling of melting into that vibration of becoming one. And naturally in that vibration we start to sink, we start to lean on the ground more because we fulfill into ourselves, and then we also fill into our body, and then we start to lean into the support and allow the earth to hold us more. So then you can feel the presence of the earth underneath you there. And as we lean on that support, something else is awakened. This rekindling of nature, of Gaia, Mother Earth underneath us, just anchors our nature as well. There is support here for you to be you, which then starts to just activate the vibration of your nature. So from the state of being, from the support, from the feeling of this loving support, Mother Earth, you can kind of feel this kind of tickling almost in your being of just something awakening, something inside of you. It's you. It's the tickling, the impulses from the state of being that maybe turns also into actions that is inspired from the vibration of you, from the vibration of being. So there's just some aliveness in your system of your nature, of just you acting as you in the world, in whatever way that expression is meant to be had. That is uniquely to you. But there's this tickling, the sparks, the impulses in your system of life force uniquely running through you, having the opportunity and the freedom to also be acted out in the vibration of you. And from here you can start to just wiggle your toes slightly and fingertips, and starting to get ready to come back up into a sitting position. But this time the sitting position can be taken in a kneeling position, or some call it a Japanese sitting position. You can choose if you need pillows underneath your ankles or underneath your butt. Just find your position. And from here, we start to rise back up. So the sinking into our vibration was first a sinking down process. We can feel it here as well. As you exhale, you sink down into you, into the feeling of you in the center of your core. And naturally, you start to sink more down and lean your weight more on the ground so you can feel the next vibration, the loving support. You can lean into that vibration. And naturally, this starts to also open us to lean more into all the support that's surrounding us from all directions. It's like our being, our body softens because we are held in this existence. And then naturally, we also start to just feel this kind of tickling in our body of the impulses as we're tuning more to our core vibration. We're also naturally tuning the life force in our system to flow through us and ignite the sparks of how we are supposed to express our true nature in this world. And from here, you can take your palms together, front of your chest, and you can raise them to your forehead, and you can just bow just slightly. It's more an energetic position, so you feel it. It does something to your body. It's honoring something. Naturally, this position starts to activate the last vibration that tunes us to our core frequency, which means tuning to source, coming in alignment, into alignment with source. And in this honoring position, you can feel it. It almost happens mechanically as we perform it with our body. There's this honoring of this creation. There's a reminding of creation. There's almost like we can tune to, if we call it God or source or just this loving presence all around us, this divinity. As we open to the support from all angles around us, the next layer in that vibration is the divinity in that. The divinity, which is here all around us. The divinity in creation. So just allow yourself to tune to that high vibration. And as you bow just energetically, mechanically with your body, notice how you naturally then surrender to this frequency. The frequency of source, of divinity, of the sacred, of the holy. However we experience it, but everyone has that feeling of something that is sacred, or the feeling of divinity. There's this special place inside of us, in the center of being, a string that's touched, softened. And you can just choose with your intent to come into coherency with Source itself. You can allow your whole body, physical vessel to vibrate, to open to this frequency. To come into resonance, coherency with Source. As with all the frequencies, we allow this frequency, we explore this frequency to pour all the way into the center, into the depths of our being. And just explore if we can allow this frequency fully, completely into ourselves as a whole. And as this frequency is allowed into the core, it's like the boundaries between us and the frequency is slowly erased, and it's like we're filled, like we're one with this frequency, one with Source. Just feel the waves of love. Allow these waves soften in these waves. And let it just all remind you of this feeling in the center of you, of who and what you truly are. Noticing as we're coming to the end of our journey that we're sitting on the floor or whatever we are sitting on, so we can feel in the physical reality, we can feel the support there, we become present of the earth underneath there, so that we're kind of anchoring this all. We become aware of the room or area surrounding us. We become aware of where we are in this present moment. We become aware of our body here. And you can slowly take the hands down, and you can maybe move your fingers slightly, your spine, or whatever the body wants to do. Maybe it wants to sit still for some time or craves movement. Naturally, you notice what you need for the integration of any experience, information, or activation. It's there in your field as this kind of buzzing field of information of things that are being digested, and you naturally know and feel what you need to do to have the space to allow for the digestion, which will become the integration. And that is all for our journey for now, for the activation. Thank you. Much love.